Hey kids, I'm really glad you're here. I'm David the journalist. Can you help me? I'm really confused. I'm trying to follow the road to Hebron, but I don't know which way to go. I can't figure out these signs.
Well, this situation would never have happened in ancient Israel.
You're right, Sam. The paths to the 6 cities of refuge were very clearly marked with the word refuge. And the roads were always kept clear of any obstacles. Nothing should slow down or stop people from finding them.
Was Hebron a city of refuge? I've read about it in the Bible, but I don't remember too much.
Well, Hebron was part of a network of 6 cities spread throughout Israel called the cities of refuge. You see, the Jordan River divided Israel into 2 parts. So there were 3 cities of refuge on one side of Jordan and 3 on the other side. Hebron, Kadesh, and Shechem on this side, and Bezer, Ramoth, and Golan on the other side of Jordan. Anna, maybe you can tell us more.
Sure, Sam. Those cities belonged to the Levites and priests. You know, those who worked in the sanctuary. The Bible says that when the people of Israel entered Canaan, or the Promised Land, Joshua divided out the land so that each tribe received land according to their size. Except the Levites. They were given 48 cities and
6 of them were the cities of refuge. These cities had to be at the farthest a half-day's journey from any place in Israel, so that anyone, whether an Israelite or a foreigner, could reach them quickly.
And why did they need them? What were those cities for?
well, just as their name says, they were places of safety for fugitives. They were set up as a place of safety for anyone who would accidentally hurt another person and cause that person to die.
And let me guess, these cities were there to protect the killer from an angry relative who might take revenge.
Yes, when the person saw what he had done, oh no, he must not return to his house to get his clothes or even to say goodbye to his wife and family. He must flee quickly before the avenger could find him and kill him.
But I imagine there was a trial, right?
Yes, the priests conducted a trial in front of all the people. Both the accusers and his defenders would each bring witnesses who would tell their side of the story. And the priests of the city would listen to both sides and judge the case.
And when they found him innocent, they would allow him to stay inside the city and protect him from the avenging relatives. He could live in safety within the walls of the city of refuge until the death of the high priest. That could be 5 years, or it could take up to 20 or 40 years. The life of the high priest was his guarantee of life and freedom.
I see. But what if the person wanted to go back home before then?
He would be taking a big risk because there was no safety outside the city walls. If his avengers found him, they could kill him because he'll be acting outside the law and no one could protect him.
And what about if a person killed someone on purpose? Would they still find safety in one of these cities of refuge?
Well, if the trial proved he was guilty, he was not allowed to stay inside the city of refuge. He was taken outside to be punished by his avengers. At that time, the usual punishment for a crime was an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. That means that if he was found guilty of killing someone, he needed to die too.
I get it! This is another clue. Christ is that city of refuge. We are the refugees, and if anyone is not in Jesus, he will be at the mercy of Satan the avenger and will die. That means that by the death of Jesus, we're free. But since he resurrected and is alive, we are only safe in him. This is amazing.
Exactly. And about the way to the cities, the Bible says that Jesus is the only way to the city, and through the study of the Bible, we find all the signs pointing to him. We must study our Bibles carefully and beware of any false signs and false prophets that might lead us in the wrong direction. And just as the fugitives should not delay in going to the city, we too need to decide as soon as possible to go to Jesus and stay in him before we fall into one of the traps of the enemy.
But there's still one thing. The name of each city has a meaning, which shows the mission and work of Jesus. Look, Kadesh means holy, and Jesus wants to forgive and sanctify the sinner. Shechem means shoulder. It points to Jesus because he is a shoulder for those who need rest or comfort. Hebron means friend. And that's what Jesus wants to be. He wants to be our closest friend. Beser means fortress. Yes, because he is the protection for those who are weak. Ramoth means heights. And that is Jesus for those who fall. He takes us out of sin and lifts us up to a higher place. And the last one is Golan, which means fullness. Jesus supplies all our needs.
Wow! It's amazing to me that even the cities of refuge point to Jesus. Well, children, ready for your next assignment? First, be sure to add a picture of the fortress to your mind map. Then draw a map of Israel with the Jordan River running through it. Finally, draw each of the 6 cities of refuge in their correct places. Be sure to include the meaning of each name underneath. Then, memorize the names of the cities and their meanings. Think about who Jesus is for you. Well, see you next week for another exciting Bible adventure. Goodbye.